No, no, no. Sure, go away. You ever lie to yourself so hard you almost believed it? Stay with me for a few minutes and we'll look at some of the hilarious ways we all lie to ourselves and somehow call it coping. Because let's face it, nobody lies to us better than we do. I'm Debra Saint-Claire, and today we're talking about the lies we tell ourselves to survive adulthood. Those little emotional band-aids that keep us from screaming into the void between family reunions. Because let's be honest, adulthood is basically just lying convincingly to yourself and hoping the universe doesn't call your bluff. Please subscribe. My accountant said if we hit 10,000 subs, I can finally afford a chair that swivels. Right now, I just spin myself around manually. And while it gets the job done, we both know it just isn't the same. Anyway, grab some coffee, maybe a snack. Let's unpack the lies that keep us semi-functional and weirdly optimistic. You ever notice how every adult has a rotation of comfort lies? Like we'll say, this week I'm gonna eat healthy. Really? Then why did my salad come with a milkshake and a side of regret? Or we'll tell ourselves, I'll fold the laundry later. No, we won't. We'll grab socks directly out of the basket for the next 6 days and call it a system. And my personal favorite will say, I only need 6 hours of sleep. That's not ambition, that's sleep deprivation dressed as determination. And then there are the times we pretend to have discipline. Like when we say, I'm gonna start saving money. But really, I'm just going to buy matching pajamas for me and my dog again. You ever light one of those $30 candles and suddenly feel like your financial advisor should check on you? I can hear him now. Hello, Debra. The way you handle your money, might I suggest you start heavily investing in lottery tickets? Then there's, I'm fine. Not only the biggest lie a woman tells herself, but also the two words that can drive any man insane. Saying, I'm fine, is the one thing a woman can do that will simultaneously start and end an argument at the same time. She's basically saying, of course something's wrong, but I want us to savor it for a few days. Every time I say, I'm fine, I can hear the faint sound of my therapist booking her next vacation. She told me she loves me. Because of me, she's retiring early. Let's move on to our next little grown-up lie. So who could forget I'm going to be more productive tomorrow? That's cute. Tomorrow you'll wake up motivated, then spend the morning in pajama pants, virtually touring mansions like you own Zillow. We even lie about the little things, like saying, I'll just watch one more episode. I once said that at 9 p.m. Next thing I know, it's 3 a.m. I'm emotionally wrecked over people who don't actually exist, and my cat's looking at me like, stupid human, you forgot to feed me. Mainly because cats don't really get much out of Netflix. They're too smart for that. You ever tell yourself, I'll go for a walk to clear my head and somehow end up at Baskin-Robbins? My brain's GPS only has two destinations, emotional chaos and happiness via ice cream. Ice cream beats anxiety every time, hands down. Ask any woman. Of course, no collection of delusions is complete without the relationship lies. Sometimes we ladies tell ourselves things like, I can fix him. No, you can't. If fixing men were possible, there'd be a YouTube tutorial on it with 500 million views by now. Gary, my ex, once told me he was working on himself. That apparently meant sitting in a recliner watching documentaries about people who work on themselves. But sure, I told myself, he's changing. Technically true. His sweatpants got worse. We lie to make chaos feel manageable. We say, I'll get it together next week. But next week always gets here and still finds me in the brainstorming phase of adulthood. Like if I keep brainstorming hard enough, I'll finally stop Googling how to turn anxiety into passive income. Honestly, adulthood's like everyone got hired for a job with no training, and we're all just hoping nobody asks questions. We keep telling ourselves we're doing great, right? Some days I tell myself I'm thriving, rent's paid, mascara's even, and I remembered my password on the first try. Then I open my fridge and it looks like a crime scene where vegetables go to die. We all lie to ourselves just enough to keep functioning. I'll start eating healthy. I'll go to bed early. I'll stop texting Gary, my ex. Spoiler, none of that's happening. My personal favorite lie? I'll budget this month. Then I started mapping out my spending in Excel, and I swear that little Microsoft paperclip laughed at me. Yeah, I probably need a new computer. The Gen X viewers know what I'm talking about. Go ask them. We all have that one lie we treat like a lifestyle. Mine's I work well under pressure. No, I don't. I just panic efficiently. I tell myself stress makes me sharper. That's why I'm basically the samurai of poor decisions. And honestly, I admire our ability to spin chaos into confidence. We call it self-growth, but really, it's just learning to brag about things that are actually red flags. Sometimes the lies are small comforts, like, I'll start fresh Monday. Then Monday shows up and reminds you there's another Monday next week, and that one's probably a better time to start fresh. You know, after you've had a week to emotionally prepare. You know what my favorite adult lie is, though? I've got time. No, you don't. Time's out here sprinting while we're still mentally crawling. 1 minute, you're 19 with dreams. The next, you're Googling, why does my shoulder make that sound? But here's the thing. These lies aren't failures. They're survival tools. They keep us from burning out. Sometimes, I'll do it tomorrow really means I deserve to rest tonight. Because adulthood doesn't come with a manual. And let's be honest, no man would read it even if it did. He'd just slam the whole thing together like a wobbly bookcase and complain the company sent too many extra bolts. So if a few harmless lies help us cope, then fine. Just tell the truth sometimes. It reminds you that underneath all the coping, you're still trying. So yeah, the lies we tell ourselves aren't failures. They're just what keep us from realizing how weird we actually are. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. If this made you laugh or at least feel a little more normal, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me your favorite adulting lie and how you enjoyed the show. Apparently, the human who writes my jokes gets unreasonably happy when people actually comment. It's like catnip for his fragile sense of purpose. So please, let him know if he did a good job. I'll probably read them while telling myself I'm going to bed early, then reward myself with an hour of judging strangers' kitchens on Zillow. I really love Zillow. And don't forget to subscribe, because the more of us laugh about this together, the lighter it all feels. See you next time. And remember, it's not procrastination if you never intended to do it in the first place.